at this point, a Byfuglien Jets jersey could be considered vintage when you consider what's going on out there. So this was a story that, I wouldn't say it blew over, but there was such a lack of information that no one really knew what to say about it. I guess he showed up day one, and he must have said, I'm not really in the mood to be here, or I don't know if I want to be here. I would guess there's probably more to it, but we're not privy to it at this point. But Bob McKenzie reporting today that Byfuglien has taken a leave of absence, and I guess he's back home, maybe in Minnesota, maybe he's in Winnipeg. I'm not sure where he is, but he might retire. He's got 2 years left on his deal, and he's not sure if he ever wants to play again.
I can't see him coming back. If you're not ready to fire up at this point, it's not like they had like this long, grueling playoff run.
No, and here's the other thing. Let's say he comes back and says, you know what, I took a 2-week leave. I just needed to clear my head.
He'll just get abused if he's not good.
Exactly. The first night that he's not good, people are like, this guy doesn't want to play.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to play.
Head's not in it.
Head's not in it. That's the challenge. Now, do I think he's a fantastic player? Yes. He could be he's probably one of the most unique players in the NHL because he can do it all. And for a big man, he can move, he can hit, he can handle the puck. He's got a really nice demeanor. It's a big blow to Winnipeg, given that Myers and Trouba aren't there. Anyways, their right side was arguably the best right side in the National Hockey League the last 5 years. It's gone.
It's gone.
Now, Neil Pionk's going to be a nice player.
But
he's not one of those three.
He's not one of those three.
Not yet.
And here's where it is going to get, I think, pretty bitter in Winnipeg. There's an Andrew Luck comparison here. Byfuglien is not as important because of the position Luck plays.
Right.
This would be like a goalie pulling the chute right before the season starts, and you're like, our season's done.
Right.
But Luck, we knew about the surgeries. We knew about the injuries. This sounds like Byfuglien just doesn't want to play, and it's his life. He can do whatever he wants.
Right.
But he could have told them that 4 months ago. And
That's the thing.
Maybe Trouba's still on the team. Or maybe they find the money.
No, he was out. He wanted to go to the U.S. His wife, his fiance, works in the U.S. He was leaving.
But he didn't. He couldn't guarantee he was leaving.
But maybe a heads up, maybe could have kept Shabbat around. Maybe Myers would have stuck around.
Exactly.
You give a little sniff and say, you know what? Because you look at that decor. Myers left. Trouba was traded. Shabbat traded, and now if Byfuglien retires,
right,
that goaltender must be just thinking, well, who's going to play in my own zone this year? Sherratt, not Shabbat, Sherratt.
Yeah, and Ben Sherratt is a really good player.
That's right.
So they've had,
and they're all gone.
That's 4 really good defensemen. Now Morrissey's still there, great. He's a great player, but
he's on his own right now.
You're on an island.
And Laine, we don't know when he's playing again. Connor, we don't know what's going on.
Like
with
that
him.
is,
I think
it's a mess
tweet
right
summed
now.
it up best. You said, you know what? 16 months ago or 12 months ago or whatever that number was, they were in the conference final against Vegas, saying, "We got a real good chance here."
It's a year ago this time.
Like, what are we going to say about
16 months
that team?
ago, technically.
Look at that decor we just mentioned. Who's gone? Can they even make the playoffs?
Well, I think it's up for debate if the Laine stuff continues to get sticky. I mean, they're in a tough division.
You have to move Laine now and say, who wants this guy for a right-handed defenseman? You have no choice.
I don't know how you're going to do that, though. Like, teams aren't just going to help you out today. I mean, this is another thing. If Byfuglien told them on May 1st, I'm thinking about it, then you could have potentially looked at something at the draft. You could have changed the way you approached free agency. But I think the lesson here is, we get so caught up in window. We're in this window.
Right.
The truth is,
that window just got slammed down on them.
There's no such thing as a window. It's every individual season. That's your own. It's one entity.
Yeah.
It changes every single year.
That's why people come up to me and they're like, "Oh, the Leafs, Tyson Barrie." I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine."
It's circumstance.
And CC.
Yeah.
If they're gone next year, then who really cares?
But they're here right now.
You got to worry about your team. There's so many factors that go into it, and you could talk to anybody who wins a cup. Health, luck. You go back to Chicago where Detroit had them up 3-2, and then Taves is losing his mind.
3-1.
There's so many things that go into winning. You need an opportunity on paper. You need everyone on the same page. Like, I apologize because you said, it was 16 months ago against Vegas. I was just saying a year ago, heading into the season, we were like, Winnipeg, arguably, I had them as the #1 team in Canada on paper. The Leafs are right there, but
yes,
but
last
Winnipeg,
year I would have put
going
Winnipeg.
Into the season.
Now I don't think it's even a contest.
No,
I think the Leafs are so clearly the best team in the country. Like we did our standings last week, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think Calgary's going to take a step back. But with everything that's going on with Winnipeg, I have to put them ahead of Winnipeg now. I'm making adjustments on the fly here in terms of what I'm expecting
I'd like
out
to
west.
see, though, this is the one thing. And I had Calgary ahead of Toronto, but I misspoke because I went on points. Because I think the Leafs are going to have they got a tougher division.
Right.
That
but
was
who's
the
the best team? You know,
on paper,
that was
the Leafs,
the debate.
But I still think Calgary can get just as many points as them. So that's the difference. But Winnipeg, they're still a very good team. It just looks different. Now, that's the one
worse.
thing.
It looks worse.
There's no way it looks better. There's no way in hell it looks better on paper.
Mm-hmm.
They're just, but they had dysfunction last year, and maybe some of this nonsense can help that team grow in some of the stuff that they went through internally.
Potentially, I think. I mean, that's what they're going to try to
tomorrow.
sell.
If Connor signs today, all of a sudden he's back. If
Well, I'm
Laine
working under the
signs a
assumption
bridge-
those guys are going to play.
Yeah.
I think at some point Laine is going to sign, Connor's going to sign.
That Laine, Brian, we talked about it yesterday. Bringing that guy back in the locker room, it's like me going on some social media post saying, oh, guys I work with, I'm not sure. You guys would be like, what What are you doing? Like, you leave.
Yeah, it's going to be a
That's a
difficult
tough
transition.
comment to say.
He's got time to figure out how he's going to explain himself.
I think he'll soft
Trust
shoe
me,
that
hockey
one.
players, they take that stuff seriously. And you think a guy like Brian Little or Ehlers is going to be like, oh, don't worry about what you said.
I wouldn't expect that, but
Okay, so how do you
I'm not saying it's going to be an easy transition. But I'm saying if he comes back and he gets signed, those guys have to grow up just like Laine does.
Yeah,
and they have to be like, all right, we're playing. What are they not going to pass him the puck all year? You got to play.
I think
I
a
just
month
think
in.
it's one of those things where mentally you just created a problem where it'd be awfully difficult to get back to normal.
I hear you, and that's what Winnipeg is dealing with, where they still got a lot of talent there, but it's been a lot of turnover. If Byfuglien doesn't play again, that is a massive hit. And again, I mean, 16 months ago, they were sitting there with Vegas, waiting. They're playing Vegas in a conference final.
Right.
And they had the world.
We probably talked and said, you know what, they're going to mop up Vegas.
I thought they would. And last year, I thought they would dominate. Winnipeg was a team a lot of people thought was going to compete or win a cup.
I may have had them in the final. I can't remember.
They were in
I thought we all
the running.
But that's what I was saying. A year ago,
They were the best team in the
we were all
country.
looking at like this team is growing and it's getting better. You could see the step ladder, right?
Right, and if you bring the Leafs into this, a year from now, if Barry walks, if Muzzin walks, and something else happens,
CeCe walks.
you could be sitting here saying, what the hell happened to the Leafs?
Well, that's why you have to live in the now.
Exactly. Now,
Can't
you can't be reckless.
No.
Doesn't mean you get reckless, but what it means is you make sure you're cap compliant, you accumulate as much talent as you can, and you take a run.
Yeah.
That's got to be your motto. If you feel like you got an opportunity.
Well, that's why it's so important. I remember hammering this drum last year where Freddie was having a fantastic season and John Tavares was having a career
Which
year.
Freddie?
Not the GOAT.
Not the GOAT, who was spectacular last night.
We get into later, but when you had your goalie standing on his head, everyone, I mean, when Austin came back, everyone was healthy, William was there. Like, that was a window that we all expected them to do. I know the Bruins are a fantastic team, but you needed that. That was a window. That was a year of their window. And I know we say window or whatever, and you could throw that out. But not every year you have your best season. What if some of these guys, I'm not suggesting they will, but what if Freddie just doesn't have as good a season that he's had the last couple of years? What if John Tavares goes from 47 to 38? They may personally have, but you still need the team to be good enough to go into that next round.
They just got to get in.
Yeah, they'll get in. But it's timing, and the timing of Winnipeg looked a lot different 16 months than today.
Big time.